Angel's Throne, Series 16, The Echoing Garden. When the last garden remembers your name, will you still be worthy of its roots? Chapter 1, Kaia's Awakening. Born without a mother, a father, or a flame, Kaia emerged not from prophecy, but from the forgotten soil of Eden's echo. No one saw her arrive. She simply existed beneath a tree that had never bloomed, in a garden that had never been sown. Lucifer was the first to kneel beside her. Not as morning star. Not as ruler. As a witness. She is not born. He whispered to Ashalel. She is remembered. A mark burned gently across Kaia's forehead, two intersecting crosses. Not symbols of death. But of intersection. Of what had been, and what was returning. Chapter 2, The Garden Remembers. The garden, this second Eden, had no gates, no flaming swords, no cherubim guarding it. Only memory woven into root and leaf. Every plant bloomed in echo, not light. Each tree whispered names that hadn't been spoken since the fall of Babel. And as Kaia walked, the garden shifted to remember her. Each step she took left behind not footprints, but scripture. Gabriel arrived with caution, sensing celestial imbalance. He asked Ashalel. Why now? Why her? Ashalel answered. Because heaven gave freedom, but no one taught us what to grow with it. And beneath her words, the earth throbbed, alive with questions. Chapter 3, The Shattering of Lucifer. Lucifer stood upon a hill overlooking the garden. But he was not whole. The light inside him fractured, not from doubt, but from two certainties that could not coexist. That mankind deserved freedom. That truth required form to survive. He split. Two beings emerged. Luciel, radiant, tender, sovereign of compassion. Luxarian, precise, brilliant, protector of balance. The world saw two morning stars, and it trembled. Ashalel wept, not for the division, but for the choice it forced humanity to make. The flame is not failing, she said. It's splitting into questions. Chapter 4, When the Angels Took Sides. Heaven fractured, not in war, but in alignment. Some followed Luxarian, yearning for the safety of order. Others followed Luciel, drawn by the risk of mercy. Michael remained still, watching both paths unfold. But Gabriel, once the most unwavering, descended to earth and whispered in the ears of mortals. Do not look up for your saviors. The garden has made you capable of saving yourselves. In secret, the angels debated the unthinkable. What if the last war is not against evil, but between visions of goodness? Chapter 5, The Book of Remembering. In the Spiral Library, a new book appeared. Not written by angels. Not scribed by prophets. It was remembered into existence by Kaia. Bound in bark, sown with roots, its title glowed. The First Eden We Forgot. Its pages told not of Adam and Eve, but of a first humanity, one before sin, before law, who chose to fade into soil rather than betray their light. Kaia read the final line aloud. We were not exiled. We stepped aside until they were ready. A new chapter wrote itself as she whispered. They are ready. Chapter 6, The Garden's Rebellion. The garden awoke. It no longer bloomed gently, it rose. Vines climbed skyscrapers. Trees split temples in half. Grass pushed through marble altars. Nature did not rage. It claimed. It grew not against man, but around him. Whispering. You were never meant to dominate. You were meant to root. Empires fell not in blood, but in overgrowth. Luxarian summoned fire to push it back. Kaia stood in front of him and said, Burn it, and you will burn every story you once protected. He paused. Because the flame in his hand flickered, not with obedience, but remorse. Chapter 7, The Mirror of Origins. At the garden's heart lay a lake that showed not reflections, but beginnings. Kaia led Ashalel, Luciel, and Luxarian to its shore. Each peered into the water. Luciel saw himself kneeling before the first mortal, offering light without chains. Luxarian saw himself turning away from the throne, choosing silence over vengeance. Ashalel saw her own mother, a being never born, just dreamed. Kaia looked and saw the Creator, not as a being, but as a question. Will they love what grows, even when it doesn't bloom for them? She answered by touching the water. And a path emerged beneath it. Chapter 8, The Path Beneath the Flame. They walked into the water. Not down. Not up. Through. Beneath the garden, in a space older than light, they found the path of becoming. Etched into its walls were no laws, no names. Only symbols. Infinity Nabla. Ashalel whispered. It's not prophecy. It's inheritance. Kaia stood at the center, the glyph on her brow glowing. And from the ceiling above, a vine lowered a fruit never seen in Eden. She did not eat it. She planted it. The fruit took root in light. And the garden pulsed. Chapter 9, The Flame That Grew. The fruit bloomed. Not in fire, but in understanding. From it emerged the third flame. Not divine. Not infernal. Human. It spoke no words. But wherever its light touched, people remembered their dignity, not just their guilt. The condemned stood and walked free, not because they were innocent, but because they were still growing. The righteous wept, not from failure, but because they realized they had stopped asking questions. And Kaia said, "This is the flame not of judgment, but of becoming." Chapter 10, The Garden Echoes Forever. At the end of the season, Kaia disappeared. Some say she walked into the flame. Others say she became the seed in every soul that still wonders. Lucifer, both of them, stood before the blooming tree and laid down their light. Luciel said, "Let them lead." Luxarian said, "Let them fail." Ashalel said, "Let them choose." And the garden whispered to the wind, "I will echo every step, until they are ready to walk alone." Series 18 would begin not with angels or thrones, but with a single question. What will we do now that the light is ours? To be continued.